Hey, welcome to a very special episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Kevin Burns from the Foaming Head is joining us, and Henry.
Special indeed.
Special because we're reviewing the Trappist. Probably not going to pronounce this correctly. It's spelled Westvleteren, but I believe it's pronounced I can't pronounce it.
We're Americans, don't worry about it.
They don't make it for us to pronounce it.
Yeah. It's up there. Westvleteren 12. Supposed to be the greatest beer in the world. Had a trade. I actually got it fairly easy. I just had a trade with a guy in France.
Okay.
So
you know how I feel about France.
yeah.
Well, now they're good for something.
Yeah. Trappist beer made by monks. They only sell it at the brew pub in Belgium. It's so highly rated on Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, and I guess I'm not a huge fan of Belgian and Trappist beers. It's not that I dislike them, it's just that they're not usually my first choice. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I love them. They're some of my favorite ales in the world. You know, the 𝗬𝗏𝗡𝗏s and the Roqueforts. I absolutely love those beers.
I like them quite a bit. Depending on what you're going to grab for, depends on the circumstance. Right now, I feel like Belgian. So let's do it.
Yep. Yeah, well, compare Henry's to...
Yeah, ours are a little clearer there.
Yeah.
Not much. I mean, a little.
Well, I'll go first in the next one. Whatever.
Yeah. So what do we got for aroma? It's very...
Figs.
Yeah, it's like a dark fruit basket for sure. And I forgot to mention this 10.2% ABV, but
This is amazing.
I'm not getting any alcohol in the nose. Oh, I forgot to mention this beer is also it's almost 2 years old. The guy got it said he bought it in December of 2008, so a little less than 2000. Little less than 2 years old.
This aroma is fantastic. I gotta tell you, of all the beers I've had lately, this is blowing me away.
What do you think, Kevin? You've been quiet.
I don't... Now, what do you like about it, Henry? Can you give... Is it those aromas that you just described, that oak, that fruit? Is that what you like about? Because
I do, and it's the combination. It's not just any one particular, but it's how they're all dancing together in a medley of awesomeness in my nose.
I think it's blended well, like you said. To me, I'm not getting anything that kind of stands out. It kind of just smells a little muddled, and it's interesting in one way because I don't know what to expect, but off the nose, I'm not looking forward to anything. And I do get just a touch of booze, just a touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys ready to dive into the greatest beer in the world, supposedly?
Let's find out.
First thing I'm noticing is that it's definitely reminiscent. It's not like I'm drinking this beer and it's like, oh my god, I never tasted anything like that before. It's definitely bringing back some memories of other beers. What do you think?
It's very soft.
It is.
I would agree with that.
I wonder if this is how it tastes fresh. Chad said it's been aged for about 2 years. It has rounded out a lot, very soft on the palate, like you said. What you described in the nose, and I had trouble getting, I'm getting now more in the body. More of the oak, the fruit, but blended extremely well together. Nothing over.
It's more oak than fruit, I think. And there's almost a hint of leather in the taste. That might not sound good, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, I'd agree. Oak. I'm getting kind of a vanilla.
I'm not picking up on the vanilla.
Or maple. Some kind of like a syrupy sweetness.
There is definitely a
Maybe
sweetness
maple.
up front. Yeah.
I've got a little bitterness in here that could just be a little bit of the yeast.
Right.
It's hard for me to tell, but in general, so far so good.
I think it hides the alcohol well. You know, I have a faint hint on the nose, and maybe now on the aftertaste of the aftertaste, I get just a touch of warmth, but nowhere near what I think 10% would be.
Right.
A little less than on the nose. Hidden very well. It's rounded out well for aging 2 years. It's not as bold as I thought it would be. Even with the 2 years, you know, I just had, you know, I like aging my Belgians and some Three Philosophers, which is a little different because it has a touch of cherry and, you know, some of the other 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪s and quads, but This has mellowed. It is very soft. I expected it to be more bold, even at 2 years old.
Right.
It is very soft, very delicate.
You mean like more robust as far as flavor, or more just like
In your
pure
face,
energy?
yeah, just straight in your face boldness. You know, that's why the Trappists are so nice. They're rounded out, but they still have that strong backbone. It has good structure, but it doesn't have, like you said, that raw energy, that pack a punch taste.
I'm getting kind of like a cherry, maybe fig, very complex palate. It's really tasty.
Yeah, this is a little bit sweeter as it's warming also. I'm getting more of the sort of cherry figness than I initially was. And the woodiness is bleeding into it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I like it.
This is really well made. And I think this is where it's coming from. I don't know if it tops any of the other Trappist quads that I've had, some of the darker ones. The Roquefort 10 and the 𝗬𝗏𝗏 are my two favorites. I think this is right there with it. Does it top it? No. Does that factor of it being hard to get come in? Possibly.
Yeah.
You know, I've never had the liberty of tasting this fresh either. This is the first and, you know, one of the few times I expect to have this beer.
I usually expect them to be better, especially with the yeast in them, with the bottle conditioning. I expect them to get better for a period of time. And then get worse. 2 years should be within optimal. And if not, can get optimal for a few more years.
Another thing is that it begs the question of, A, do you see why people would say this is the best beer ever? Or, and B, do you consider it that?
Well, sure. I mean, it's very good. I wouldn't give this a 10 or anything.
Really?
But, you know, definitely, you know, a 9. So, I mean, this is very, very good. It's very complex. It's a very full experience for a beer. And I could see whereas a lot of people would rate this in the top slice of their beer pie.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I think it's, I mean, again, anything, I think it's human nature at least some point to want what you can't have. And,
Right.
you know, this is very complex. It's in that upper echelon of beers for me. And I was in the upper echelon of the upper echelon. You know, I'm a big sports fan, and is everybody in the Baseball Hall of Fame an equal player? No, they're all in that upper echelon.
Right.
You know, this is one of those Hall of Fame beers. Is it the Babe Ruth of beer in terms of taste? Maybe not. Maybe not. I think there's some of those Trappists that I like a little bit better, but it's something you might only have once in a lifetime. And I've heard the term the holy grail of beer a couple times.
Right.
I think that's more appropriate than the best beer ever. I think it's the holy grail. It's something you might chase for a while, get your hands on. It's still a very good beer. I'm going to go, are we set for rating time?
Yeah, well, you're definitely saying 9?
9. This beer is a 9. It's very good. It's very complex. It's an experience, and I recommend it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go high 8, low 9. In that area, like, I mean, we're in beer rating systems. I like going 100 point scale. I think it's in that 94 to 96. It's not that 98, 99.
Right.
It's right there with all the other Trappists I've had. You know, in that style, that quad, Dubbel style, that dark. You know, it's very good. It's just not the perfect beer. And I don't know if I found the perfect beer yet.
Right.
It's not perfect, but it's as good as it gets, I think.
I'm glad you guys went first, because I was right there with you where I was thinking, I don't think I could honestly give this a 10 because it's not wowing me the way that other 10s have, but I could definitely go 9 on it. And, you know, I think same reasons you said is like a little bit more robust body. I mean, the drinkability on it is amazing. Like, I could slug this down, but I'm sipping it because it's, you know, obvious reasons, but I like it for what it is. If I could get this on a regular basis, I probably would. If this was as easy to come by as 𝗑𝐬𝐿 and Rochefort and all those, it'd be in rotation in my fridge. So
I'll tell you, after having had it,
yeah,
it's sitting very well. Right. The aftertaste is still with me. It's still pleasant, and that's a good quality.
yeah. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. Thanks to Kevin and Henry for coming over.
Thanks for having us taste it.
Yep.
Glad to be here and definitely have an amount of this one.
Yeah. If you can find it. See you guys next time. Bye.